Tesla have dominated the EV market for some time now. However, some genuine contenders have emerged. One of the most popular cars being sold today is the Tesla Model Y, the popular SUV that is becoming more and more commonplace on our roads. Tesla receives a lot of love and hate as a brand, and for many reasons, which some are valid and some not so much. However, another brand also receives such a broad range of emotions as well, and this is Kia. Now, we are not talking Kia from 10 years ago, a brand that was extremely cheap and delivered small, poor quality cars for the masses. We are talking about Kia, the South Korean behemoth which is poaching the best minds from the car industry around the world. If your perceptions have not changed, then you're living in the past, but this has happened to many a brand before. Today, to give you an idea of difference, Tesla is an American brand, whereas Kia is South Korean. It is what Apple iPhone 14 is to a Samsung Ultra. So, let's talk about the two competitors here. The performance models, namely the Tesla Model Y Performance versus the Kia EV6 GT. Which would you buy? Which do you want? Which is better? It will divide opinion. So, let's look at the cars in detail and what they deliver in terms of performance, as this is what they are titled as: range cost, practicality, and much more. Performance. So, let's start here. Firstly, the Tesla Model Y top-spec model is the Performance. It comes with an extremely potent dual-motor setup. It is good from 0 to 60 miles per hour in 3.7 seconds, not the 3.5 miles per hour advertised. This is because Tesla's marketing figures factor in something called rollout. Basically, the car is moving at least 1 foot before the countdown begins. The Kia EV6 GT has delivered in real-world tests 0 to 60 miles per hour in 3.2 seconds. It beats the Model Y in every 0 to 60 test. In fact, even pitted against a Model 3 performance, the 0 to 60 is so close that both have taken a win from each other in real-world tests. However, the performance of the GT has much more top-end grunt than both the Model Y and Model 3, and after 100 miles per hour will start to take the lead. However, we are not comparing against the Model 3, which is a smaller, lighter sedan. We are comparing the two SUVs instead. The GT has adaptive suspension and an electric slip differential. It contains a drift mode, and also in numerous track tests, the brakes did not fade even after numerous hard laps, unlike the Tesla Model Y Performance in its updated track mode. The irony is that the Kia EV6 GT is a grand tourer, but suffers with its range. We will get to that later. Whereas the Tesla Model Y Performance has a wonderful title, but the EV6 GT's performance is more exhilarating. It is much more the driver's car. These are large 2-ton SUVs, so don't expect the nimble nature of a Model 3 Performance or a dedicated sports car. The win goes to the Kia EV6 GT. Let's talk range. When buying an electric car, range is important to most, and Teslas have dominated the scene for some time now. New emerging battery technology is appearing now, and it will not be long before the parity of range and 500+ miles on a single charge are a reality. The Tesla Performance, like the Kia EV6 GT, has a reduced range due to all the power it makes, but it is still better when it comes to going the distance. Both models have other specs which have longer range, but even then the long-range version of the Tesla will still have the Kia beat. Marketed range is Tesla Model Y Performance is 303 miles. Kia EV6 GT marketed range is 256 miles. Real-world tests between the two are varying depending on driving, but on the Kia EV6 GT it is between 206 and 230 depending on driving style. If you have a heavy foot, expect to see even less. The same applies for the Model Y Performance, but it is not as dramatic, and expect to see 250 miles in real-world driving. The comments below will give you more of an idea, hopefully, as people share their real-world tests. The Kia EV6 GT has a 77.4 kilowatt battery, which uses 74 kilowatts in real-world conditions. and Tesla Model Y performance 78.1 kilowatt battery, which uses 75 kilowatts in real-world conditions. Tesla's battery technology is still world-leading, and those few extra miles can make all the difference. The win easily goes to Tesla on range. Charging and infrastructure. The Kia EV6 GT has the latest 800-volt charging capacity built in, and take it to a DC 350 kilowatt charger, you will see extremely fast rates of charge. You can get 62 miles in 4 minutes. The Tesla Model Y performance will also charge fast with the 250 kilowatt Tesla chargers, and the Tesla infrastructure is very good. It is the market leader in this field, having dedicated chargers and makes for easy charging. The gap is closing, however, with more and more high-speed chargers being installed on a weekly basis, and the Tesla charging network being opened up to other brands. This monopoly will not last. Today Tesla will win this, tomorrow it won't. It also must be factored in on your commuting distances. Are you traveling long distances? Then my advice would be neither car is appropriate. There are much better range alternatives from both these brands, and even others. These are the high-performance models, so seems silly to buy one and then expect to commute hundreds of miles a day. For real-world day-to-day driving, both will be absolutely fine. Most people, myself included, have a home charger and a work charger, so this gets me everywhere I normally go with ease in both vehicles. Longer journeys would require stops. In the UK, for example, the infrastructure is strong and there are chargers everywhere. Some places in Europe even better, especially countries like Norway. Perhaps in larger countries like the US, the infrastructure is something that still needs to grow. But again, my American friends, please let me know. How is the charging networks, both Tesla and non-Tesla, in the States? So, the Tesla, you will drive further and stop less. But when you stop, you will wait that little bit longer. The Kia, you will drive less and stop more, but when you stop, you will not be waiting as long. Both of these scenarios depends on the best chargers available. The gap is closing, but as of today, I would still give this win to the Tesla. Build quality and warranty. Scare stories are everywhere, and haters will always tell you things about they know someone who knew someone, etc. Tesla's build quality has not always been favourable, but then neither was Kia for many years. However, in today's market, Kia's build quality is not only vastly superior to Tesla's, it is actually on par with some of the best out there. With a world-leading warranty, the Kia EV6 GT has a fantastic dealership network where you will always be seen to, and with a dealership in almost every city and town. Tesla after-service has been something of a letdown personally, and many have faced multiple issues and huge waits to see someone, or long drives to service centres with gap panels that even today are still an issue. The very fact that if you buy a Tesla Model Y Performance, you are a tiny fish in a huge pond of other Model Y drivers, as well as it being middle of their range, doesn't give you the same command of service that buying Kia's top-of-the-range, much rarer EV6 GT will get you. Kia want to hold on to customers like you, whereas Tesla wouldn't really care too much. When it comes to build quality and after-service care, the win easily goes to Kia. So, based upon all of this, these are some of the big things to consider. But other very important things to consider are price. The EV6 GT is slightly more money than the Performance, and in America I believe these discounts can be even more financially beneficial. It strikes me that buying either of these cars, price is not really an issue, and most who buy either of these cars has done so based on their own experiences or their love of either brand. Most who buy a Performance or GT model will almost certainly have at least one other car, so may have made an informed choice. Today in the UK, prices are Kia EV6 GT £64,990, or the Model Y Performance is cheaper at £59,990. Things to consider are: the Model Y has a bland minimalist interior. It lacks many physical buttons, which again divides opinion. The interior of the EV6 has a futuristic design with a curved dual screen with physical buttons. Personally, I favour the ambient lighting, the heads-up display, the active sound that the EV6 gives you over the Tesla. It may seem lazy of the Tesla to not give us a few extra things. Personally, I also like the minimal interior of the Tesla, but I can't imagine one would hate being given a few extra buttons to make things easier, especially that damn glove box. In the EV6 GT, you are deprived of cooled and power seats that lower models are given. But the seats are extremely comfortable and also give you extreme support, especially if driven hard. The Tesla seats are comfortable and can be adjusted, although lumbar support on the passenger has been removed. It seems cost savings are being made on all manufacturers at the moment. Tesla lacks Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, and Kia's is wired. However, both have workarounds with aftermarket products. The infotainment on the Teslas are better than the Kias, but you would not be disappointed by the Kias as it works exceptionally well. However, perhaps a direct interaction between Android Auto, Apple CarPlay and the charging network information being fed to your car would be super helpful, as Tesla really have this working exceptionally well. The over-air updates from Tesla are especially good, and Tesla are always keen to improve the car's software. The sound system in Tesla, apparently ex-Bang & Olufsen engineers, have developed an exceptional sound system with high SPLS and is vastly superior to many high-end sound systems. The EV6 GT Meridian sound system, whilst it is beautifully composed, it lacks the higher volumes of the others, and the bass is somewhat lacking with a small passive 5-inch subwoofer. If you have left the Kia Stinger with the exceptional Harman Kardon system, you would be disappointed. However, aftermarket sub-options are available. But not the point, this should be better in my opinion. Let me know yours. The moon roof of the Tesla is wonderful and lets in a lot of light, although can be very hot in the summertime. The Kia EV6 GT has options including a retractable sunroof, which can be nice on a hot day, although this is not in the UK market. The vehicle-to-load offering from Kia makes using your household appliances without DC adapters a useful feature and great for camping. Both have said camp modes. Tesla's dedicated camp mode and Kia's utility mode are fantastic additions to allowing you a peaceful night's sleep. The Tesla is slightly larger and can accommodate more, so do take this into consideration as well. The Kia's one-pedal driving and regen braking is vastly superior to Tesla's, and it has the world's first and only RBM regen braking system. It can even generate up to 0.6 kilowatts of power in braking and reduces brake fade, as well as the longevity of the braking system. The Tesla's red plastic covers really indicate a lack of quality in this area, and the Kia's performance brakes lend itself to its GT credentials. Looks are subjective and both need love from their prospective owners. Personally, I like the look of them both. But not a lot on both of them that sets them apart from the models beneath them. A few light exterior changes on both with coloured calipers and larger wheels are the most noticeable differences. I hear from so many people all the time Teslas are rubbish, Kias are poor quality, Teslas are this and Kia is that. I'd never buy a Tesla, I'd never buy a Kia. What is clear is most don't know what they are talking about. There seems to be more hate in America on Kias, which I can understand as they are proud of their American product Tesla, and rightly so. But those individuals are so wrong on Kia. And that is all what brand perception is. Kia Hyundai Group in 2017 was the third largest motor company in the entire world by production volume. They poached Albert Biermann from BMW's M division. He was the master that created the Kia Stinger, an M3 light car that made the competition realize they need to up their game. To Schreier, who designed numerous Audis, and even engineers from Lamborghini have been hired. The very fact that the EV6 GT was developed with R&D from the likes of Rimac tell you that you need to take this brand seriously. They have the money and the expertise to take on anyone, and they are. Kia, Hyundai and Genesis are all part of the same group and invest heavily in making super reliable cars with world-class leading warranties. The pundits rate them, the journalists rate them, the car experts rate them, and the owners rate them. Each year their market share grows which is testament to the quality motor that they have become. They are even setting their sights higher. Remember a time when we wouldn't touch a Japanese car, and now look at their reliability and quality. Kia Hyundai are closing the gap with the likes of Toyota Lexus, so that is one of the reasons why I am such a fan. Tesla is another behemoth, which is now the most valuable car brand globally. These two manufacturers are doing something right. Tesla may not be your cup of tea, but it is extremely popular. In 2022, it was the UK's most popular selling EV. People are attracted to the way it drives, the way it constantly invests in its software and the charging infrastructure. I won't go into are we saving the planet with EVs, as that's a totally different conversation, but many people do buy them with that being the reason. Gulp. The price and the range of the Teslas are a selling point, and also the brand imagery. It is strange that some people have different brand awareness, as 50% of people I have encountered do not see Tesla as a luxury car manufacturer where others do. Personally, I would say they are, and the cars feel luxurious, albeit minimal. But there are much more luxurious cars out there. Personally, I feel the Kia more luxurious to me inside, but this is again a matter of taste. But exclusivity-wise, the Tesla is so commonplace it loses that sex appeal. You will see many more Tesla Model Y performances than you will EV6 GTs on the road. Is the Kia the underdog? Absolutely. But does it put up a fight? 100%. It is equally on par with Tesla and vastly outcompeting in many areas, as the Tesla vastly outcompetes the Kia in others. It is purely a matter of choice. Can they be compared? Oh yes, 100%. Both really have exceptional stories to tell. One is a newcomer with no pedigree at all and has dominated the EV market. The other was a cheap, poor quality car manufacturer that has upped their game so much it is now fighting and winning with the big boys. You cannot go wrong with either if you want a fantastic EV, which has tons of technology and is a premium car in its segment and price range. Yes, there is more expensive versions and other manufacturers to consider, so saying I'd stick with my old BMW 530d just suggests ignorance, or you either can't afford an EV or the time is not right for you. Drive one real world for a month and then your opinion has some validity. The fact remains, the same car world doesn't wait for you, it moves and moves fast, and to experience new things is a fantastic way to have valid opinions. Yes, you could have a Model S or X or a Plaid or a Rimac or something else, but then that's not what we are comparing here. Do I love the exhilaration of a petrol-powered performance car? Absolutely, that's why until the day I'm told I can't have one, I'm happy with my gas guzzlers. Am I also embracing electric vehicles? Hell yes! They have their place and will only get better as they develop and morph into newer technologies. To conclude, when it comes to these two EV performance SUVs, the iPad on wheels, which will tear your face off and which will continually improve, or the futuristic driver's car, which will surprise you that such a large vehicle can behave like an animal with its pedigree feel. It is your choice. One thing to consider is they won't be the top of the tree for long. Tesla is surely going to up their game with newer, more powerful versions. Kia Hyundai Group have already announced the Ioniq 5N, the EV6 GT's sibling, which is going to smoke both of these. Either way, you won't go wrong. For me though, I'll take the Kia, as there is something quite exhilarating destroying almost everything on the road at the lights that thinks it's fast as they see a Kia badge off into the distance. That is expected in a Tesla and doesn't give me the same satisfaction as I take off. I sort of like an underdog. Here's to Kia and Tesla, two nobodies that have taken the EV world by storm. Please do like and subscribe so I can make more content.